Breakerbrook 23. Today in this video, I'm going to take a quick look at Bluetooth receivers and their output sections, or the line output. And I want to show you kind of the difference between a serious Bluetooth receiver and not so. All right. So this is quite the name brand unit here. This is the Harman Kardon BTA10. Now, I bought this back in 2016, 2017, I believe. It was a Harman Kardon. I'm very familiar with this brand. I've dealt with Harman Kardon for many decades. And so I thought, well, this is going to be a really good way to go. And it was. It didn't have a bad sound. This is kind of an entry-level Bluetooth receiver by today's standards. Back in the day, this was a pretty nice unit. The problem with this is we had to turn up the volume control quite high. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give you a little visualization. So on this Bluetooth receiver, I would have to turn my stereo up to about here to equal the same volume as my CD player. And I actually just thought that was normal. And back in the day, that was somewhat normal for Bluetooth. I believe it was in its infancy. And what we do on this one, we have a power jack on the back, and not a standard one, but a power port on the back to power the device up. Then we have the phono auxiliary plug, 3.5 millimeter stereo plug, converts to RCA. Back in the day, this was somewhat normal. Again, low output levels. So you have to turn your amplifier up quite high to get a decent volume out of it. And then, of course, when you start getting up here, if you want to jam on it, well, then we're running into distortions and that whole issue. Okay, we're going to go over here, and we're just using the BLT HD. This is a Bluetooth 5.0 and quite a bit more modern. And the companies have decided to start using RCA outputs at this point. And this is rated at about 2 or 2.1 volts preamp level, RCA output level. This would be more equal to a CD player or a tape deck as far as output level goes. Quite a bit more than going this route. What I was doing is I was surfing the internet today, and I was seeing that this is kind of, depending on where you look, they've almost discontinued this. But we're seeing these BTA10s sell up to $179. I think Harman Kardon has the refurb version of this for $143. Okay, and I just want to show you why you do not want to get a unit like this with this type of setup versus something like the BLT HD. BLT HD is going for like $109 on Amazon. You can go on BlueDento.com and you can get this for like $80. Quite the difference in price. And you can get this personalized, meaning you can have them assign this an ID. So when you're looking or browsing for Bluetooth devices on your cell phone, this could be like Mike's Bluetooth. You don't have to settle for BlueDento or whatever. You can get that done, and I really like that. That's a really cool feature. Go to BlueDento.com and use promo code BB23. But that's not why we're here. Okay, I think why we're here mostly is I want to expose this malarkey. You know, the thing. All right, let's get this hooked up to our test setup, and I will show you exactly what I'm talking about. Alrighty, I have the Harman Kardon hooked up. I have the BlueDento hooked up. Remember, this is an auxiliary output, so 3.5 millimeter stereo to RCAs. And then, of course, this is the standardized 2.1 volt RCA. And we have our comparator in line, so what we will get is we will get a perfect A-B comparison in the output of these devices. I'm also using my dual channel Micus transmitter for the transmitter. That'll give us 2 channels output. So these will see the exact same input, frequency-wise, volume level, everything. You'll notice that I have my receiver turned down a little bit here, and you'll see why here in just a minute. we're going to start off with a 40 hertz tone. So depending on what you're listening to this on, if you're listening to it on a cell phone, you might not hear it. However, if you're listening on a home computer or something like that with some monitors or maybe a home stereo, then you're going to hear this. Let's start off with the 40 hertz tone. There's the Harman Kardon. There is the Blue Dento. Harman Kardon. Blue Dento. 1000 hertz test tone. Okay. Again, more volume with B, but also a little brighter as well. We'll do one more test tone at 2500 hertz. You can actually, hold on a minute. Sorry about that. You can actually see that on the power meters, the relative power meter on the stereo receiver. Okay, let's play some music through this and see what we get. Please do not turn the volume up on the device that you're using to listen to this video on. I have purposely mic'd this down a little bit. My studio mic here gets a little overwhelmed. I'm using some old school baby Advents, and there's a little area of mid bass in there that this microphone just doesn't like, and so it doesn't quite come through as clear as I would like it. And this is a problem, by the way, when people are demonstrating what a stereo or a Bluetooth device sounds like going through YouTube, different compression issues with YouTube itself, of course, the studio mic that the YouTuber is using and playing back on and you know, speaker-wise and all that. So what we're doing here is we're basically going to show you the difference in levels, so keep an eye on those VU meters. And in this track, there are some chimes and some tambourines in the background. Now, I'm going to hear this in the studio just fine. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on YouTube. So basically, again, we're going to demonstrate the difference between using more of an entry level, or what I would now consider a play toy, with the auxiliary output converted over to RCAs versus what I would consider a real high resolution Bluetooth receiver with the proper RCA output level at 2.1 volts, 2 to 2.1 volts. I'd like to see, honestly, 4 to 6 volts are RCA output, but that's another subject. All right. Let's do this. Let's get started with a little funky disco. We'll do a little sound comparison, give you a little visual here in case it's not coming over well for you folks that are using cell phones to listen to this on. Let's go. All right. I'll set this up to the first set of lights here. We're gone. Let's do this. There's A. There's those chimes. All right, I'm sure you guys get the drift on that, so I hope that works. I hope that helps you guys for sure. I'll leave links to some of this stuff below. I can't really find the BTA-10. You can get it on Amazon. I've seen the BTA-10. That's the little Harman Kardon piece. You can find that on Amazon for like $200, and Harman Kardon has it on their website, refurb units for $143. The BLT HD is $109 on Amazon, but if you go to bluedendo.com, you can get it for $80. That's kind of a no-brainer, and you can get it personalized. And I believe you can still get another 10% off if you use promo code BB23 as in Breaker Broke 23. Anyway, again, what do we get from this? Try to shy away from entry-level Bluetooth receivers that have that auxiliary output plug. That is the death nail right there. You want to look for something that has 2.1 volts output on the RCA section. Honestly, I'd like to see it more than that. But anyway, there you go. Please leave questions or comments down below. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so. Thanks for your support. Thanks for watching. Cheers, everybody.